Here we go.
Great.
All right.
Okay. So Madeline, thanks so much for being here, and we're looking forward to learning more about Cascade Relief Team and what you guys do.
Oh, thank you so much. Of course, my dogs start barking. I'm so
Always
sorry.
happens.
So first, I just wanted to introduce myself. My name's Madeline Murphy. I'm 26 and I live in the Little Applegate. So not quite in town, in the Alameda Fire area, but I've lived here almost all of my life. I attended California Maritime Academy and I was a third mate on ocean-going vessels for a little while. I have since returned to run the 12.5-acre hobby farm that my family left me. So that's me. I have 11 animals. Most of the time they'll be in the background, the indoor animals anyways. And yeah, I have worked for Cascade Relief Team since November of 2021. So just over a year now. And I've been really enjoying it, but I work remotely, and so I don't see any of my coworkers, and I don't get to visit the places where we do a lot of our work, which is mostly up in Northern Oregon in the Otis, Oregon area, near Lincoln City, if anybody's familiar with that. Mm-hmm. Also, I was just sick last week. I got sick at the end of last week, and I'm still recovering, so that's why my voice sounds a little funny, and I hope it lasts through this whole presentation, but I'm not going to take up too much of your time. Here's a little PowerPoint about us. I'm going to screen share. There we go. Can everybody see that okay?
Yep.
I can't see my controls. That's what I can't see.
Uh-oh.
But everybody can see my screen okay?
Yep, looks good.
Give me 1 second. Nope. There we go. Oh, also, this is my first office job. So I've always worked in hands-on jobs. I was a volunteer firefighter during high school, and then I went to school to work on ships. So this is my first time that my primary duties have been on the computer. So bear with me. We started in 2020. And I am going to, there we go. We started in 2020 with some cattle evacuations. Mark Brooks is our executive director and founder. We utilize volunteers a lot to coordinate cleanups of organic debris and the debris from fires and storms. And as it says here, we really prioritize the safety of our volunteers. And the way we do that is by properly training and outfitting our volunteers. My title is Safety and Training Coordinator. So I was brought on to be in charge of ensuring that everybody follows the safety rules and that there's adequate supervision on all of our cleanups. This is really important to us. Because in the event of a disaster, there's always people who want to show up and help, but making sure that that's done safely and efficiently is really tough because it's a confusing place. So a big part of CRT's mission is getting there, getting boots on the ground, and making sure that that's done well. So we are part of all of the circle of response, the response, rebuild, and recover. So, and then we're moving into resiliency work as well. What we do is we come and we help with the initial cleanups, everything from evacuation, initial cleanups, and then we move into setting up systems and helping LTRGs get off the ground. And then we try to maintain a really strong presence in every community that we deploy to. So we set up community resource centers to make sure that we can continue to offer services after a lot of the Red Cross and other disaster relief organizations have left. We stay. So our three main resource centers are in Otis, Oregon, in Blue River and Mackenzie River. And then we just got off the ground in Estacada, Oregon. Oh, and we have also deployed to Kentucky and Florida and are in the process of setting up resource centers there. So landscaping with love, that is our landscaping division. So not only helping people rebuild their homes, but their yards and gardens, and making sure that the area surrounding their home is fire resilient and a pleasurable space to be in, because it's so important for mental health and for getting back to a sense of normalcy. People put years and years into their and so much of their hearts into their yards. So it's really important for us that we help them in getting back to a spot where they can have a garden and a beautiful home and surroundings. We rely heavily on volunteers and donations. We coordinate these. We have a physical greenhouse where we're planning on soon offering classes in gardening and sustainability and fire resiliency in landscaping. And then our main resource center is the Salmon River Grange. That's where we have clothing, food, toiletries, and we can refer survivors in Otis, Oregon. That's where we've been established the longest. So the Salmon River Grange is a building, and we don't own the building. That's owned by the National Grange Service. I'm not sure if everybody's familiar with how granges operate, but this is a building, and within it, everything within it, including the personnel, is owned and operated by CRT, just not the actual building. However, we do maintenance on the building and are doing some structural repairs and accessibility improvements. We still are seeing, I think the last statistic I heard was an average of 26 survivors coming into the Salmon River Grange every day. And I have personally gone there and witnessed quite a few survivors, at least 26, much more than that, coming in to access the services. And these survivors are vetted, and I'll talk about that in a little while. These are some images from our Salmon River Grange. That's what it looks like when you first walk up. Here you can see some Christmas ornaments, holiday decorations, and then there's stuff like coffee pots and plates and bowls and cups and spoons and clothing. And then there's also a kitchen where there has been food served out of it, and we have events. Oh, and it's open daily noon to 3. And at the River Resource Center, unfortunately, I don't have any images of that right now, but here our humanitarian resource navigators and our disaster case managers meet with survivors to help them further their recovery journey. They do a lot of great work out in Blue River. So here's some statistics. We really value community collaboration and our partner organizations and people who really have roots in the community. We cleaned up 88 properties, and that's over multiple counties and states. And we've removed over 1 million pounds of debris that has been removed from properties and recycled. And then we've helped over 150 fire survivors return home. That's in the last 2 years. So we often talk about how we are the organization that makes sure that no survivor is left behind. So we have what's called a community defined survivor program. We came up with it. It's not called that by anybody else, but we take we take survivors and vet them through our own systems to make sure that they have all the required information. But we do this with the goal of avoiding re-traumatization, so that we can issue them a physical card that they can demonstrate to our partner organizations, and every time they enter one of our resource centers, they don't have to tell their story again. They can just access services. And that's called our Survivor Strong ID card program. We do this with the aim of creating lasting support in the community and then increasing resilience. So we want to create resilient communities in every community we serve. And yeah, we aim to unite and empower communities. This has always been our goal, and that's our executive director, Mark Brooks, on the right there. We are really looking forward to expanding our impact in Jackson County. Ryan and I both work here. Ryan Donahue and I both work here remotely, and are really excited to meet with more of the survivors in this community and see what we can do here. We took what we did in Lincoln County and duplicated in Blue River, and are working with a number of long-term recovery groups to expand what we do across the state and into other states. This is really exciting because we think what we did in Lincoln County worked really well, and are looking forward to more. So we went to Kentucky. This is our Kentucky Operations Center, which we plan on turning into a resource center similar to the Salmon River Grange and our Blue River Resource Center. So it's going to be a community hub where people can access services. They can be referred out to our partner organizations, and we'll have offices where we can employ members of the community to assist with all of the recovery efforts. 6 people went to Kentucky after the 2021 tornadoes and did quite a bit of debris cleanup. And then we also have one of our employees that moved to the Midwest. And so we are looking to expand our influence and the support we can provide into the Midwest, and hopefully build resilient communities, because this area faces a lot of disasters like this. So we just want to help them be prepared. And that's us, attempting to unite communities and changing lives. All right. Does anybody have any questions? Hi, Cass.
Yeah, you mentioned something about the survivor vetted aspect.
Yeah, it's the community defined survivor. So that is what we call. So there's disaster survivors according to FEMA, which you often have to meet pretty stringent regulations about documentation to prove where you lived and the assets you had prior to the disaster. But we believe that there's a better way to vet survivors that is more trauma informed. So you can be rigorous about verification while also respecting different life circumstances that may lead to maybe you were living in a mobile home on a family member's property. Does that mean you didn't lose every single one of your possessions and your primary residence? No, you absolutely did. And so we take a number of steps to get people, we try to include instead of exclude. And this allows us to help a lot of people that would have otherwise fallen through the cracks and not been able to access services. We may not be able to give these, certain community defined survivors access to flex funds, but that doesn't mean there's not a lot of resources that we can help them get.
Cool. And you mentioned the ID card. Is there like a shared ROI with other organizations, or are you the only one or only org with the access to their information?
There is, so we have the same intake as I'm sorry, I'm losing the name. Maybe Ryan, you can help me out with that one. But so far, we have only done the Survivor ID program within Lincoln County. Mm-hmm. And as the primary nonprofit operating in Lincoln County, we're kind of the go-to. But we're currently working with the LTRG, and there's nothing set in stone yet, but they're interested in what's a better way to coordinate volunteer efforts. And that was the reason that this was started, was that so that communities could come together and the survivor information would be protected, it would be respected, but it would also be available to those looking to help.
Cool, that's what I was hoping. Yeah, that's great.
As survivors, when we're applying for help, we put in so much documentation. It's very nice courtesy that something gets coming back, the documents that the documentation went in. I think that's very cool.
Yeah, I'm sure you put a lot of documents in and never receive anything saying, yes, you're good. We see you, we hear you, and we're here to help.
Yeah.
Does that answer your question? And I can always share more information about it after I meet with the LTRG again. We're really in the early stages of it. It was actually one of the first projects I worked on, was writing it out and researching this, how CRT did this. It was one of the first projects I worked on when I came in, and it's just now a year and change later, I'm now taking that information that I collected and bring it down here to Jackson County, and people are going like, why didn't we do this from the beginning? This seems like a really good idea.
Indeed. There was just a lot of red tape.
There is a lot of red tape, and this is, I think, at its core, fighting back against that.
Good. We need more of that.
I was curious in terms of the gardening, landscaping. Do you have people that come out and can draw up a plan? Or do you?
Usually survivors, I think, survivors come and get their plants. So plants are raised and then given to survivors, and then we coordinate volunteer days for delivery and installation.
Okay.
And that is still an expanding program too.
Whoa. Did you want to have oh, go ahead.
Do you have the capacity to move a lot of dirt?
Yeah, we do have access to heavy equipment. Yes.
Oh, cool. Okay. Thank you.
That is something we've done.
All right.
That's actually one of the heavy equipment operators and volunteers with heavy equipment operations licenses was one of the first things that Mark helped coordinate in the cleanup efforts, because it's a big need.
I have a lot of dirt I don't know what to do with.
Yeah, and again, I do want to remind people that this is mostly up in Otis. I am a remote worker. We don't have any heavy equipment operators in Jackson County.
Okay.
I am, my coworker and I, Ryan, we are administrators. That's it.
Not operators.
So we're not heavy equipment. I operate heavy equipment, just not that kind of heavy equipment. I mean, I can do a crane. I've got my forklift certification. I've got my third mate's license. I can run a ship. A
Yep.
bulldozer? I wish.
Okay,
It sounds like you're pretty close.
very good. Yes.
Thank you. Hey, maybe that's my next project.
Yeah,
Yes.
why not cross everything off the list? So
And they have little ones with small buckets.
Oh, they certainly do. You know what?
Yeah.
I have always driven by those little miniature backhoes and gone like,
Mhm.
oh, what I could do with that. One of those.
Mhm. Yeah.
I do have a tractor though, just like my own personal tractor. So if you need like tractor work, hit me up.
Okay. All right.
So Jose shared a disaster in the chat. Did you want to talk about that, Jose?
Oh, the French drains? No, that was pertaining to Michael's situation that he was talking about the other
Oh,
day.
I just see
Yeah.
that
I was thinking that if they have the
landslide
capacity, they
closure.
could help.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that landslide closure on the coast too, on 101. That is pretty crazy. Did you guys get a chance to see that?
Where in
Yeah, I saw
101?
It's where was it? Let me check.
Or-
Port
There's a-
Orford.
There's a
Oh,
link in
wow.
the chat, Michael.
Yeah, I see it. I haven't looked it up yet. Okay.
For anybody who doesn't know where that is, it's really central on the Oregon coast. So north and west of us.
between
So-
Gold Beach and Bandon.
Yeah. So you did mention floods as well as fires.
Yes.
How would, and I guess a lot of it is, again, loss of housing is one of the first things. So putting people up, finding shelter is one of the immediate concerns.
Yes, it is. After the 2020 wildfires, we helped support the hotel conversion in Lincoln City that
Mhm.
helped house fire survivors. And we have DCMs that continue to make sure people can access safe housing.
Mhm.
And I'm
Okay.
so sorry, my voice is going out. I was sick.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
You're good. I'm still here. I finally got to where it was quiet. If you need help.
Thank you.
Yeah, take a break if you want.
Yeah.
So in addition to that housing, we did also have a kitchen that we had in the hotel. So then we did provide meals as well.
Cool.
So it was pretty awesome. I mean, if it could be replicated everywhere, that would be amazing. But it was just kind of the perfect place for it.
I know ELIB and the RAC are doing their best to replicate something like this as well. Have you been working with them?
I have been in contact with ELIB. Yeah. We haven't gotten together yet, though. It's been on the to-do list.
Cool.
Sounds like you guys have some really good writers of grants.
Thank you. That's
I was gonna say that's her.
thank you.
Awesome. Well, one really good writer of grants then at least.
I'm not trained as a grant writer. I came on as a safety and training coordinator. I just stepped in where we had just lost our grant writer when I came on. And so I ended up writing grants and continue to do so. It's really fun. I really enjoy it.
Oh, cool. You'll have to teach me how to do that.
Yeah, me too.
I still don't know really what I'm doing.
That
I harass people for statistics. That's most of my job.
sounds fun.
It's
I
not.
love statistics. Well, I love making spreadsheets, so I like gathering
Yeah,
statistics.
Oh, good.
you do. Yeah.
Well, it's pretty impressive what you guys are up to, and
Very.
yeah,
Indeed.
thanks for doing it, and thanks for sharing about it.
I didn't know you guys went all the way to Kentucky. That's like awesome.
Yeah, Mark loves to just jump and go when something happens, and I really admire that about him. He can coordinate a response really quickly.
Where was the other place you said you went out of Oregon?
Florida.
Florida. Did you go?
I did not know. I have 12 and a half acres and 11 animals.
Oh yeah, I forgot about your animals.
Yeah, I really wish I could. That used to be something I thought, you know, if I had somebody to watch the farm for me, I definitely would, but I don't.
I
Thank
would, but I think you're a little far away.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
You don't have any emus, do you?
No, I wish.
Yeah.
Just
Goat.
goats and horses.
I got to meet her baby goats.
Oh, did you?
I'm so
Aw.
glad you enjoyed them.
They
I
were-
might bring them back to the Pear Blossom this year just because they were such a hit. They're grown-ups now, but they still travel well.
Cool. They behave themselves.
They are so well behaved. They're awesome. Their names are Stevie, Mick, and Lindsay, in case anybody is wondering.
Oh, do they
For
sing?
rescues.
Do they sing Fleetwood Mac songs?
I wish those would be spring.
They do bleat like goats though.
So it's
Oh
me
my
singing the Fleetwood Mac songs to my goats.
Yeah.
Just have
They
to
make
bleed at the right spots.
Yes.
they make great videos too for funny pets.
Goats are pretty charismatic.
They are. They're not my
Very cute.
most intelligent animals, but they're some of my favorites.
So, Madeline, are there ways to get involved for people that might want to support the organization or volunteer or?
Absolutely. Yeah. And going to our website, it's Cascade. I'll put it in the chat. I can't believe I didn't do that already.
Please.
It's just cascaderelief.org. And yeah, we are always accepting new volunteers, and we'll be hopefully organizing some volunteer days down here soon. And of course, donations are always appreciated. Also sharing any of our updates on social media, you know, following us. We're on Instagram and Facebook. That's always very much appreciated. We do a lot of our outreach on Facebook. So this local Facebook groups are a wonderful source of information about what's needed, where, when.
Awesome. Thanks.
Oh, of course, thank you.
People have other questions for Maddie and Ryan?
Could you, would it be easy for you to write up a little blurb about volunteer request? I can pop that in our weekly wrap up document.
Absolutely, yeah.
We share it with all the recovery partners, so
Do you want me to just email that to you?
sure.
Will do. Making a note of it now.
Cool, thank you.
Does anyone else have like news or announcements about recovery or preparedness or rebuilds or anything like that?
Let me know when I should stop the recording, Erica.
Any time is fine, I think, Cass.
Okay, I think I'm going to stop it now, unless there's more that we should capture from you, Maddie.
I think that's about it. Thank you guys so much for listening.
Thank
Cool,
you for being
you.